gentlemen, episode 10 of season 2 of the Daily Intermission podcast. I'm joined in studio, as always, by my co-host Nate. Nate, what's up, fella?
Not much. Just got on the Ozark rip last night.
Oh, it's what a show Ozark is, man. And if you haven't seen it, listeners, go check out Ozark. It's on Netflix. Season 4, like Nate said, I mean, it's unbelievable. I've been binging.
Yeah. How far are you in?
I'm on episode 5.
Okay, shoot.
Yeah.
I gotta get caught up. I'm only halfway through 1. I guess we're not gonna give any spoilers out and completely ruin it for everybody, but
oh yeah, just the premise. A family from Chicago, an accountant. I'm not sure what Marty Bird is by trade. He's a genius.
he's like a financial. What's the word? Is he like an investor or like no? I can't remember exactly what he is, but anyway.
I'm not sure what his role is, or financial analyst, financial.
He's a genius. He's good at money laundering.
Yes, so yeah, he's created this program, and he works for the Mexican cartel, and obviously you know that with working with the cartel comes some serious incidents and some crazy stuff. So if you haven't seen it, go check out Ozark. Nate, I was through the week. I ordered a pizza, and I was having a pie. A big pizza guy. And I was thinking, I was like, what is the most popular food, do you think, in North America? There's burgers, pizza. I mean, I was thinking, like, what is the most popular? Like, what do you think is the most consumed food in North America on a regular basis?
Man, pizza's probably up there, but I bet it's burgers.
Yeah,
just think of the U.S., and I think they just absolutely assault burgers.
Yeah, you got to think, like, just think about the burger chains they got going down there, and how big. I mean,
even that, you can get them for $1 everywhere. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, all right, I'm going to go get 4 burgers and just absolutely eat.
Yeah, I know. That's a fair point. Yeah, it would be interesting to see. But do you think those are the top 2, pizza and burgers?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know, like, Subway has the most worldwide. They have the most, like, legit restaurants, like the most amount.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would translate over to beat burgers in any sort.
No. Yeah.
I think it's got to. Do you think it's burgers?
Yeah, I find it hard to argue that.
Pizza would probably be real close, but
for sure. I mean, we'll have to look up the statistics on that.
But, I'm really interested now, actually.
Big fan of both of them. Nate, just before we get into the Big Four and our regular cadence on the podcast, the Australian Open. So Felix and Denis Shapovalov doing well. They're both in the 4th round.
How many rounds is there?
I'm not sure.
It doesn't go to 8.
It's a good question. I think after the 4th round is the quarterfinals, or potentially the round of 16, and then quarterfinals, or is it round of 32? I'm not 100% positive on that. But it's interesting. I was kind of looking through the bracket, analyzing some names. I was catching a bit of Rafael Nadal's match the other day. He's still electric, still picking his butt every so often. I'm not sure what that guy wears under his shorts, but you might need a sponsorship from someone who, an underwear that doesn't ride up so much, because it seems like he's picking his rear end.
It's funny. We were, yeah, he's got to get the fingers out of there. It's tough when you're on TV. Funny, we were talking about that the other.
Sniffing them. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I know it's tempting, but you gotta keep your fingers out of there. But we were talking about that the other day. How there's just like even the most comfortable of underwear just continuously ride up.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Yeah, and I proposed an idea of like men's underwear to have like a kind of like a strap or like a grip around your thighs so they don't ride up. But who knows? Who knows what the innovation is going to be like? I mean, you think of companies like Saks and 2 Under. I mean, they've stormed onto the market. They charge like $40 a pair of underwear, and they're killing it.
Outrageous.
I mean, what are the margins on that? I mean, it'd be ridiculous.
It has to be. I'm just pulled this up here. So we have the quarterfinals of Shapovalov and Nadal.
Oh,
so that's going to be an absolute heater.
That's unreal. Is that today?
I think it might be today. No, it's the 20th. It's tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. Well, we'll be tuning into that for sure.
And I think that's 8 o'clock, but I have been fooled before with the time change when it comes to Australia, so I am hoping it is at 8 o'clock Atlantic tomorrow.
Yeah, most definitely. I just wanted to bring up, Nate, obviously Nelly Korda, the number 1 women's golfer in the world, her little brother lost in the 3rd round, but I guess he's a heck of a tennis player, Sebastian.
What a family, eh?
Oh my goodness!
Their sister,
her
other sister's on the tour too, right?
Yeah. She's I think a top 30, top 40 player as well.
I'm pretty sure I looked. She was like 21 or something.
Yeah, the Korda sisters, and then obviously Sebastian, and their dad was a pro tennis player as well. So that's kind of cool. Sebastian Korda, we're big fans. I mean, we're fans of the show, the Korda sisters, obviously, and Sebastian's now our guy. I mean, that goes without saying. Nate, we're gonna move into the NFL. And obviously, we record on Sunday morning, so we won't have the results from the Rams, Bucks, and the Bills, Chiefs. but we can certainly break down what happened yesterday. And unfortunately for the number one seeds in the AFC and NFC, it'll come to their road will end after one game. Unbelievable. Typically in the history of the NFL, that bye week has been so important. It's rare that these teams that get the bye in the in the first round of the playoffs come and lose the game. But starting off with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals taking down the Tennessee Titans on the road. What a win. Cincinnati fans, they've got to be going absolutely, it's got to be going ballistic. I mean, what a win.
Oh, man. It's been awesome to watch. Like, I am loving Burrow right now.
Oh, he's incredible.
It's crazy. I kind of want them to just win the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, man, though, you never know. It's one and done. Like,
yeah, no, absolutely. Their defense has been playing great as well. I'm a big Von Bell guy. Safety for the Bengals. I think he was on the Saints prior to that. I do want to mention, though, last episode, we've got some listeners who keep us on our toes. Robert Adams, big football fan. He kept me on my toes. Tristan Wirfs was actually 13th overall, and he plays offensive tackle, right tackle for the Buccaneers. So those are a couple of mistakes that I made last episode, but we make them.
I mean, it happens.
Oh my goodness! I mean, we're winging it. We're on the fly. So certain things come up, and I mean, anyway. But
it's not often you get to whip out the phone and take a scan through the entire draft list before you get to say the comment.
No, well, exactly, and I was pretty close, but yeah, like you said, I mean, the Bengals. I mean, you know what? Just kind of looking ahead to at this run, Joe Burrow's second year in the league. I mean, these wins they build up and they build experience. I mean, they've got to be just through the roof that they're winning games in the playoffs right now. I don't know what's going on in Tennessee, man. Ryan Tannehill, 3 interceptions, 1 key interception. I mean, we can hop right into it. Nate had the overtime bet again. It's tied 16-16 with a minute and 30 left, and Ryan Tannehill throws a muffin picked off. Joe Burrow tosses it to Jamar Chase in field goal range, and bang, that's the game.
Man, it's a work of art. Every time I pick these overtime games. Like, it doesn't matter. I could pick the game that's going to be like one team's plus 11-25 underdog.
Yeah.
And it comes down to the wire every single time, and it's always ridiculous, man.
Oh, man.
If it wasn't for that pick, too.
Oh, for sure.
We might have had, like, middle of the ball, middle field, just absolute 50-yarder hum. And instead, it was a layup. And, man, he drilled it right down the middle, too. Like, there was no doubt about it.
Well, remember, it was. I think they had it on their side of the field, but Burrow hummed a pass to Jamar Chase along the sidelines to get into field goal range.
Yeah.
Like a 22-yard.
Well, they had the interception right before that as well, right?
Yeah, so interception and then a 22-yard pass, I think, to Jamar Chase along the sidelines, got him into field goal range. Just super clutch. But, I mean, yeah, it's tough, Nate. I mean, we've had a couple just absolute heartbreakers in the last few weeks.
even last week, was it for the Raiders? I mean, it's an absolute pick from Carr. As we spoke of, obviously, in the last time. So, I mean, it comes down to this every single time. It's last play of the damn game.
Yeah, for sure.
And anyway, I'm on Bills Bucks, so
hopefully
I don't know.
That's a close one.
Yeah, if it goes to OT, folks, I'll be posting about it. And fire some DMs. We'll get fired up.
No, absolutely. So the Bengals are moving on, and they'll take on the winner of the Chiefs and Bills today. But I'm going to go on a little rant here. And I'm going to say anyone who has ever been to my DMs, been face-to-face with me in person, and told me that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady, you can shove it. I'm sick and tired of hearing this narrative. He might look more fancy. He might have better footwork. He might look better when throwing the ball. But the quarterback position demands much more than looking good. He's not a winner. He's not clutch. Those guys lost that game yesterday. He didn't play bad, but you know what? He didn't get it done. He didn't win. The guy's an absolute prima donna off the field. He's just causing a scene left, right, and center. Aaron Rodgers is not a great quarterback. I wouldn't even say he's better than Peyton Manning.
Wow.
I hate Aaron Rodgers.
I can see that. You know what's funny about when you say the drama thing too, because you see everything that comes out as soon as it's over. It's like, where are you playing next year? And it's like, I don't know yet. Like, we'll see what's going on. It's like, dude, like, just take a minute.
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers after the game came out and said, obviously the media members asked him, what his plans were for next season, and he said, I'm not here to be a part of a rebuild. It looks like the Green Bay Packers are going to be $40 million over the cap, so they've got to make some moves. I find it hard to believe, or hard to, I just don't think that Aaron Rodgers will be back in Green Bay with everything that went on, man, like, it's just unbelievable. But I guess we'll break down that game. So it's a 10-3 game. It's like minus 16 degrees. It's snowing. It's a brutal game. It's 10-3 with 4 minutes left. The Packers kicker, their punter, is in the end zone to punt away. The San Francisco 49ers block the punt, get the touchdown, tie the game.
Block the punt.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Then ended up similar to the afternoon game. Winding seconds on the clock. Robbie Gould, the San Francisco 49ers, kicks the field goal to win 13-10, and the Green Bay Packers are on their way to the golf course. So, man, it's unbelievable. These two number one seeds lose out in the first round, or the second round, the divisional round, I'm sorry. But, man, I didn't see that one coming, man. I thought Rodgers was going to – I thought this was the opportunity for Rodgers to showcase what he's got and to win another championship.
I thought it was going to be a bit of a runaway. It also makes me feel a little bit better about the OT bet, knowing that like they both would have been just absolute nail biters and I wouldn't have won regardless.
For sure.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I was on the Packers. We both were.
Yep.
And I mean, the 49ers are rolling on. So
yeah, so today's games, or yesterday's games for the listeners, we've got the Rams heading into Tampa. Nate's on the Rams. I am on the Buccaneers. And then we've got the Sunday nighter at 7 o'clock tonight. Or yesterday, we've got the Bills heading into Kansas City. And we are both on the Buffalo Bills. We're hoping Buffalo absolutely takes it to them.
And I mean, I'm on the Rams, but on that game, I want to see Brady win too. So it's a win-win for me. It's kind of a hedge. So
yeah, for sure.
I'll take whatever one. But I'm 100% on the Bills.
Yeah, no.
I do not want to see the Chiefs. But I just don't. I don't know. I know a lot of people like their exciting squad to watch. I just don't really love them.
No, honestly, the root of the problem for me is Patrick Mahomes, and it's Jackson Mahomes.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Jackson Mahomes' brother.
Well, yes,
Jackson Mahomes and his brother.
Yes, Jackson Mahomes and his brother are the root of the problem for me. I don't mind Tyreek Hill. I do like Travis Kelce. You know, I hate the GOAT comparisons. I think anyone compared to Tom Brady at this point in their career is a bit of a joke, but it is what it is. What an exciting weekend of football it's been, and we look forward to watching those Sunday games. Nate, we're moving into the NBA.
Yes.
Where LeBron James is the first player in history with 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 9,000 assists. He's going to get to 10,000 assists, I would think, not this year, maybe this year or next year. So he'll be 30, 10, and 10. Maybe 40, 10, and 10. I think it's like 36,000 points he's got.
Yeah, he's up there. He's definitely on the later half of 35.
I mean, extremely impressive, man, and that's where that argument comes back to with the Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. I mean, you know, it's really hard to say. They play in different generations. Obviously, we always talk about how hard it is to compare generations in sports. But man, LeBron James, I mean, regardless if you want to call him the GOAT or not, what a tremendous talent he's been. He's still the biggest draw in the NBA
for sure.
For me, you know, I'm always checking in on the Lakers and seeing how they're doing. It's been a bit of a shit show, which we'll get into. But I mean, LeBron James continues to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that the other day too. I was like, does this give him the edge over Jordan now?
Yeah.
You know, I know there'd be a lot of people that would be like, no chance. Like they would have some sort of narrative where it's just like back then it was different because you're not going to score as much because it was more physical or something of that nature. But I don't know, man. I think it's getting hard to say he's not. Like I know he's like a lot more of like kind of like a, I don't know, a little more drama related. I know so many people hate the guy.
Yeah.
Hate him.
He's certainly more polarizing than what Michael Jordan was, and he was such a worldwide figure, but as is LeBron.
Yeah, it's just weird because usually when guys like that are great, it's like they're hated most of their career, but when it starts winding down and you get to like that 36, 37, people kind of have that like more respect for them.
Yeah.
But I feel like I haven't seen that for LeBron yet, and I feel like it just might not happen.
For sure. I remember I was at a family dinner a few years ago, and my uncle and my father, they body bagged me in the argument that Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time, and I think what it is it's a generational argument as well, because we've been immersed with the LeBron James show, and the generation prior was immersed in the Michael Jordan show. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, these arguments will always be subjective. They'll always be arbitrary, and it is who you think is the greatest, and we're not here to change your mind. We're just, acknowledging that LeBron James is certainly in that conversation. Yep. He's just had an incredible career. Head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, Frank Vogel, was given the green light to bench Russell Westbrook this week, and he did with 3 minutes left in a close game. Benched Russell, and I mean, he hasn't been playing well, Russell Westbrook. We've talked about it in past episodes.
Cold as ice.
Cold as ice, and it looks like that there's a rumor that it's been circulating that Houston is willing to trade for Russell Westbrook back for John Wall and some draft compensation. I don't know where John Wall is at in his recovery. I mean, that's one guy that has fallen off the face of the planet.
He has, eh?
I mean, what a talent he is, but I'm not sure what's going on with his injuries. But, I mean, I don't know if Russell's going to be on his way out, but it's certainly going to be worth tracking.
I would love that. John Wall, the old first overall pick in 2010 to the Wizards. I would love to see that guy there. If he could get it together, too, that would be cool.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, I mean, it seemed like at this point it would be better off than Westbrook. I mean, it hasn't been going. I mean, they need to change something in LA. what are they, 7th in the West, or like 23-23, I think. And it's like, you look up and down that team and you're like, how is this team at 500?
Well, Anthony Davis hasn't been playing, and he's he's a top 10 player in the NBA. Like, I mean, you know, it is, and obviously LeBron and AD. I mean, those two alone are good enough to get a championship done with a decent supporting cast. You throw in Russell Westbrook, a guy who, if he's going to be playing at his best, demands so much usage. He's got to shoot the ball so much. He's got to get, you know, isolation all the time, and it's just not really the type of basketball that the Lakers play. So, yeah, like you said, Nate, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if there's changes coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is.
Yeah, I think they're going to shake something up for sure.
Yeah.
See what happens, though.
Staying in the Los Angeles Lakers world, Dwight Howard, 10th all-time in rebounds. Man, Dwight Howard has been such a great character in the NBA for so long. I mean, he was the most human specimen I've ever seen for so long. And in Orlando, I think back in the Superman dunk contest. I mean, Dwight Howard, it's almost, his legacy almost goes a little under the radar, how great this player has been, and you know how dominant. But you know what a tremendous feat to have the 10th all-time rebounds in the history of the league.
It's crazy how many it seems like how many records have been like kind of getting smashed lately. Like, obviously you have Steph Curry, LeBron that we just spoke of, Dwight Howard, and then I think back to, what was it, Trae Young also not that long ago. Like the last month, it's just been this. It's like, holy smokes, folks, let's get it going.
The NBA is in a really good place. I mean, I think about all the young talent across the league, and as well as the aging talent as well. Yeah, there's just so many great players in the NBA, and yeah, I mean, like you said, Nate, I mean, records are being smashed. You know, there's a new feat overcome and achieved. It seems like every week. Lonzo Ball, the oldest of the Ball brothers, is out 8 to 10 weeks after going knee surgery. And obviously, you know, when we think about the Ball brothers, we think about, LaMelo Ball, who's in Charlotte, and he's just such a tremendous talent coming off being the Rookie of the Year. Lonzo Ball, who seems to be a fantastic player for the Chicago Bulls. I really feel for that middle brother, LiAngelo or Jello Ball.
Jello.
I'm not quite certain what they call him, but that guy can't sniff the NBA, and it would be challenging being siblings with two prominent players in the NBA, and you just not having the stuff to get there.
Kind of gives you that Jared Stahl vibes, eh?
Yes, it does for sure.
All the boys. You had Mark, Eric, Jordan, all lifetime NHLers, and then Jared got I think he played 3 games.
Brutal.
They had that one time where they were all in Carolina. They were all on the same line, which is kind of funny, but
crazy,
wild, man.
Yeah, he can't sniff out a role in the NBA, which is surprising. I mean, you know what?
It usually happens like that, though. You know, you get 3 brothers, and it's like one of them is gonna struggle.
Yeah,
I think of even to the Subans, right? Like PK, obviously, and then you have Malcolm, kind of fringe, and then Jordan. I don't think ever really he's just kind of been AHL.
Yeah, but I mean, you flip to the other sports. I mean, it's not. I mean, you think about the Watt brothers, all 3 of them playing in the
that's
NFL,
true.
The Holiday brothers, all 3 of them in the NBA. I mean, it can go both ways, and yeah, I'm not sure the pattern and statistics behind that, but yeah, it's just surprising because I mean, he had a contract signed with the Charlotte Hornets this year. They ended up waiving him. But it'd be tough, and I'm just extremely excited that we're not hearing from LeVar very often. I mean, that guy demands media attention, but it seems like that big baller brand and his antics have been kind of shoved to the side.
Yeah, which is nice because that seemed like it was every day with it, and it's good you brought that up because I completely forgot about it honestly, and just haven't heard, which was nice little change up.
Oh my goodness. It was ridiculous, the type of stuff that guy would say.
Oh, man. What was the thing he said about... he was saying he was, better than... Or he didn't need advice. That wasn't that long ago. Remember, he didn't want advice.
Yeah.
Was it Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need advice from... He's like, my son doesn't need advice from Michael Jordan?
Yeah, and he said that he would beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. It's like...
LeVar?
It's just, yeah. What it is.
Come on.
It's all just clickbait, really. And he did a great job. I mean, I'm not sure what the... what the financial statements looked like from the Big Baller brand, but I know for a while they were doing pretty well. I mean, they were like $600 a pair of sneakers.
Oh, that's just foolish.
Yeah, which was outrageous, but they were being sold, man. And anyway, next week, Nate, the NBA All-Star starters will be announced. Obviously, looking forward to that. I mean, you could probably predict, who the starters are going to be. I think LeBron James is the number 1 person in fan voting right now, and Steph Curry close second. But that'll be exciting, man. NBA All-Star Weekend is awesome. The dunk contest is awesome. The 3-point shooting contest is awesome. So I'm a big fan of the NBA All-Star. They do it really well with the concerts and just the build-up, and it seems like the place to be when it comes to NBA. Nate, moving on to the NHL, rest in peace to to Clark Gillies, and obviously we didn't watch Clark Gillies play, but from all accounts, he was an absolute electric captain for the New York Islanders. His number 9 is retired in Long Island. Won 4 straight cups, obviously. His number's retired. He's a Hockey Hall of Famer, but died at the young age, I think, of like 67. So obviously, a gentleman gone way too soon, but was a part of that New York Islanders dynasty.
That dynasty, yeah. What'd you have? Yeah, Mike Bossy played then too.
Yep, that's right.
Who else was there? Someone I'm forgetting about. I mean, obviously they're not going to ring off the head just because we didn't live in the 80s, but what a wagon, dude.
I mean,
4 straight cups.
Yeah, it's rare to see that these days, a team with such dominance. You think that Tampa Bay might have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're certainly a contender. I don't know if they've got it. Who am I kidding? They've got the best goalie on the planet and the best defenseman on the planet. So and a bunch of wagons up front. So they can certainly get it done. They have the experience, but I'm hoping they don't get it done. I'm hoping for the other team in Florida to have a nice run and for some hype to build up around that other Florida team.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I always find it odd too, Nate, is that we think about the NBA and it's like Miami and Orlando, and then you've got it's rare to see the name of the state have a team and then a team within the state. I find that a little odd.
Yeah. We've got Florida and then Tampa.
Yep.
Yeah.
I find that
especially when there's a second team, it makes sense if there's only one team there.
Exactly.
You think to all the Arizona teams, like the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They're all Arizona, but that is strange.
It'd be like having the California Lakers.
Yeah.
And then having the LA Clippers and the Sacramento Kings.
That's
it's
right.
And the Golden State. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So that for me is a little odd.
That is odd.
But it is
where
what it
they
is.
just don't go by. I guess the Sunrise Panthers isn't really.
What
bring
city is Sunrise close to?
I believe it's down, not that far from Miami.
I mean, the Miami Panthers. It'd be hype.
It would be
anything with Miami.
I was just gonna say anything with Miami. Then you automatically are open to those Vice jerseys.
Oh,
which would be just absolute fire wagon fest.
Can you imagine a Black Panther with the Miami Vice?
That Miami Vice. I need one of those basketball jerseys so bad.
Shout out to a listener, Andrew Petrie. I know he's got a Tyler Hero Miami Vice,
Oh.
which is nasty.
I love to hear that, Petrie.
So the Battle of Alberta was last night, Nate, and obviously it had been 7 games since the Edmonton Oilers had won a game, but they finally get a win last night, 5-3. Leon Draisaitl went off. One of his goals, absolutely spectacular, absolutely blew by the defenseman wide, cut across the net, and absolutely went and bear down. But man, I mean, there's got to be some changes made to Edmonton. I mean, Nate, we've talked about it. We talked about it in the preseason. We talked about it episode after episode. Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen aren't a Stanley Cup goaltending duo. I mean, this was no surprise. They were the best team in the NHL for the first 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Now they've been the worst team for the last 6 weeks. I mean, they're obviously not the worst team in the NHL. They're obviously not the best team in the NHL. They're somewhere in between. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But, man, they got to go trade for a goalie, and they can't wait for the deadline. It's got to be tomorrow.
Yeah, it's got to be soon. Also, I was just going to mention, too, on the game, good composure by Edmonton last night because they got down 2-0 early. And, when you've lost 13 out of 15, man, it's so easy to just bury your head and say, well, here's another one.
Yep.
But they storm back, and hopefully it's the start of something because I hate seeing that them kind of struggle because they're getting harassed by the media bad, and we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, for the goaltending, we talked about it a few episodes ago too. How do you get a goalie at the trade deadline? That doesn't happen really.
No, and
you can get one, but it's as far as we can remember, it has never been a successful strategy to even make any bit of a significant run in the playoffs.
Yeah, so you think about, most of the NHL teams nowadays have a tandem. So there's goalies out there that you can trade for right now.
For sure.
Varlamov out of the Islanders seems like a reasonable
Varlamov
approach.
would be a terrific grab for them.
I mean,
even you look at Dallas, man, they've got more goalies than you could even believe, dude. Yeah. It's an absolute chiclet fest of goalies down there.
I don't know if Hudobin's the answer.
I wouldn't touch him. If I was going after anybody, I'd look for Ottinger or Holtby. I'd take Holtby too. And you look at Vancouver, they got Halak back up.
Yeah.
I'd take Halak over Koskinen or Smith.
Man, it's...
Halak can let in some softies, but when he gets hot, dude.
For sure. He's definitely a streaky guy. But, there's a few other names as well that people are talking about. But, you got to go, and you got to pay what you got to pay.
Yeah.
Your window is not closing, but it's a win-now mentality. It has to be in Edmonton, and you've got to go pay the price for a starting goaltender and, give the boys a little juice. I don't think their team is that bad, but they certainly have been playing poorly and
chuck away some picks and grab that goalie.
Exactly.
They can't really give off any roster players, right?
No,
Because
exactly.
they're not that solid all the way through.
No. Man, what happened to Kyle Turris?
I was just gonna say that.
Man.
I was just gonna say what happened to Kyle Turris. Dude, he's like not very good.
No, they waived him, and then I think he went unclaimed. But was it 2017 on the Cup run when they lost in Game 7 to the Penguins? Like Kyle Turris was a solid player.
Oh yeah, he had a couple OT goal. He had an OT goal against the Rangers, I remember.
Yeah.
Man, what a squad that Ottawa! What a run that was. Pga in that same series against the Rangers, he bagged 4 in one game with the OT winner.
And the Bruins were so depleted in that series, but man, I will never forget the over the net saucer pass.
Oh yeah.
On the tape of Mike Hoffman, and he one-hands it. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Those guys were all so peaked too, man. If you watch Erik Karlsson in that playoff run, was just some of the best hockey you could ever watch. Like that guy was on an absolute madman hunt, dude.
Yeah, he was. And I mean, you think if Pittsburgh doesn't go on and win that OT in Game 7, I mean, the Senators might have a cup, and things might look a little bit different for that franchise.
They could. It would have been Ottawa and Nashville. That would have been such a random Stanley Cup final.
For sure. Nate, some sad news coming to the AHL, some disgusting news. The player has been suspended 30 games for a racist gesture. I'm sick and tired of talking about these headlines. I'm sick and tired about professional athletes thinking that it's okay, or thinking that they even have that cross their mind. I mean, it's disgusting. For me, that's an instant drop. That's a ban from the league. Like, that's just, this is 2022. We should be far past this. People are trying to make a professional career from all cultures, from all different, walks of life, and you can't be discriminating and being racist, and that was just disgusting, and I hate seeing it, and so 30 games I thought was absolutely disgusting. This should be a ban, or this team should drop him. Like, there is a zero tolerance for this stuff in today's day and age, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I brought him up earlier on the podcast too. It was Jordan Subban, so it was Pga Subban's brother.
Okay.
And then so there was just some tweets.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was talking. I saw the tweet last night. So the Jacksonville Icemen said overtime. They tweeted out and said overtime began with a rough fight resulting in multiple penalties on both sides, and then Jordan Subban replied to the tweet and said, more like Jay Panetta was too much of a coward to fight me, and as soon as I began to turn my back, he started making monkey gestures at me, so I punched him in the face multiple times, and he turtled like the coward he is. There, fixed it.
Wow.
That's what he said to them.
I didn't know it was Jordan Zubin. I thought it was another individual, but because there was another guy getting interviewed, and he released a statement.
Okay, maybe that's what it was then. Yeah.
But
I mean, as far as
either or. I mean, both instances, there's just zero tolerance for this, and it's ridiculous and sad news. It's so sad. It seems like it's happening in the NHL and in the hockey world more than other leagues.
Well, it happened over in Europe not that long ago as well, right?
And the thing about it too is obviously I forget the individual's name, but he's created this team of African American players across the league. I mean, Wayne Simmons and PK and all of these individuals are sitting on this board, and they have hockey is for everyone. I think is something along the lines. But I mean, we're trying to grow the game at a global level. We're trying to grow the game for everyone, from every walks of life, from and it's just it's so ridiculous to have these people like that. It's sad news, and we're hoping that we can eliminate this from professional sports and from every aspect and in every segment of life. Quentin Byfield makes his season debut. 3 shots on goal, didn't register a point, but it's gonna be interesting to see. Like, he's got a real opportunity here. I know we were hard on him through his World Juniors and just through his initial stages of playing hockey, but Quentin Byfield, I mean, this draft class really hasn't done much. Alexis Lafreniere hasn't really looked fantastic. I mean, Tim Stützle's still really finding his groove.
He looked good last night.
Yeah, he has games where he's skating well. He's handling the puck. I mean, I think his move to the center position has done wonders for Tim Stützle. But I mean, by any means, these guys haven't looked like top 3 picks and haven't made an impact like we'd expect them to do. But Quentin Byfield has a real opportunity to showcase that he belonged there, and he's going to be a top player. And I'm excited to see what this kid's got.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see, because obviously the scouts were really high on him the entire time. And I mean, it's hard to pass on a guy who's he's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, 6'4". Yep.
6'5", 220-pound center. Like, that's not something you want to slip by. But yeah, we'll see what happens. These guys are also only 19 years old still.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy, because I feel like Stützle, just the amount of, I feel like how much I've watched him, I would have said like 21.
He just turned 20 last week, and then Lafreniere, I think,
Yeah,
bit older,
they're on the switch over to 20s. But
Yeah,
still,
no,
I
exactly.
Just
They're
can't
young.
I can't even fathom.
No,
Trying to like make an impact in the NHL at age 20.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But that draft, yeah. I mean, I think that Sanderson kid's going to come in and be.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be ready to rock, and obviously too with Lafreniere and Stützle. I mean, they went right into the show right off the get go, and they really didn't have that time for development, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that Sanderson kid looks. I know Ottawa's super excited. I'm assuming as soon as he's done his season in North Dakota, he'll be right up with the Senators.
Yeah, he also, I believe he's on the Olympic team for the U.S. No.
Oh, is he?
I'm pretty certain.
Okay.
So that'll be something worth watching for sure. As long as you get the. I mean, as long as the time works out, like there's no shot I'm waking up at or doing like a 6 a.m. through the middle of the night to watch those Olympic games. But if it's on sometime during prime time, I'll catch a couple. Yeah,
for sure. You saw Eric Stahl named to Team Canada.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
He's not even playing this year, is he?
He'll be on the Olympic team, but I don't think he's in the NHL. No.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, obviously he can't be.
No.
He'll wear the captaincy. I'm assuming.
Okay.
He'll have the captaincy for the Olympic team. So that'd be fun for Eric Stahl. I mean, go represent your country. Gives a little bit of name that people are familiar with.
Well, McTavish and Power are there too, right?
Okay.
I'm
Is that announced? I haven't seen the roster.
I don't know if it's actually announced, but I was pretty certain they were going.
Yeah, I would assume.
I feel like it'd be stupid not to take them.
Yeah, for sure. I saw Cole Perfetti, sticking on those young prospects, was playing for Winnipeg last night, so he'll be back up in that Winnipeg lineup, playing on a line with Dubois and Connor. So.
Yeah, I saw that.
Pretty cool. Ovi 2 goals again last night, leading the league in points with this stretch from the Edmonton Oilers. 7 losses in a row. Obviously, with the win last night, they broke that streak, but gave Ovechkin a little window, and he is now leading the league in points.
Yeah,
super impressive.
He's on it's wild, man. He's on an absolute buzzsaw warpath. I'm gonna give him the fire wagon of the week.
Yeah,
Ovechkin. He's absolutely buzzing out there.
Yeah, for sure. I traded him away in fantasy, which
we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. I think you'll be all right.
No, I think
Team's solid enough that
McKinnon. If you look at his past 15 games, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah,
30 points
for sure.
So. But Nate, moving into the PGA Tour, who's your one and done pick? How you doing? I know you probably don't want to talk about it, but
I was gonna say exactly who my one and done pick is. It is Corey Connors, the Canadian guy. Came out of the gate absolutely playing like me. 3 over the first day. He stormed back day 2.
He's like 6 under.
7
under.
Well, he may have finished 6, but last
time.
Yeah. Okay, he finished 6 under. So anyway, I mean, he had a good day, and then
got to -3, and then I think he just absolutely blew up yesterday.
Exactly. So I mean, that's what I said last time when I picked him. I said I can't get him right.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, anyway, that one and done's done. I can't take him for the rest of it. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I got Abe Answer. He's 8 under. He's what is he? 10 shots off the lead. So I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, he can have a good day today and climb up and make me some pay in the one and done. But I mean, some unfamiliar names at the top of the leaderboard. I mean, you got Hoagie's at the top, Nate, and Tom
Lee Hodges.
Lee Hodges, yeah.
I don't even know if I can say this name correctly, but we got world rank 200. We got Paul Barjon.
Yeah, Frenchman, right?
Yeah, very French indeed, Paul Barjon.
And I think Thiagla from the Corn Ferry Tour. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be exciting today.
Let's not forget about our boy Seamus Power in 4th.
Yeah, I mean, Seamus Power has been playing,
and old Harry Verne.
And our guy the third. Werner the third, but I mean, there's a bunch of guys up that leaderboard. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Patrick Cantlay or a guy like John Rahm comes from the back of the pack. What's Rahm 13?
Rahm's 13, so he's only 5 back.
Cantlay's 14.
Cantlay is 14. Yeah.
So
Zalatoris right there too.
Yeah. So these guys are prolific winners on the PGA Tour, and these guys are top players in the world. John Rahm couldn't buy a putt yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if John Rahm goes and shoots 8 under, 9 under today and win the event. But be interesting to see how that goes. Nate, next week we're moving into California, a little bit northern California. We're heading to Torrey Pines, and obviously, if you don't know Torrey Pines, that's where Tiger Woods took down Rocco Medici in the 18-hole playoff in 2008, and that's where John Rahm won the U.S. Open last year at Torrey Pines. So Torrey Pines, obviously, a very, very illustrious course in California. We got some big names returning to the circuit. We got Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Xander Schauffele, Bryson DeChambeau. All will be pegging in next week.
Yep.
Super excited for that event, man. Torrey Pines. I mean, the defending champion Patrick Reed, who you were on this week.
Yep.
I'm not sure how he finished.
I'm not either, but I can tell you he wasn't in the top 50.
Yeah. Okay.
Upon scrolling back, but at least it wasn't my one and done pick.
No, for sure. But yeah, we're gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to really dial it in next week. I mean, Torrey Pines, it doesn't play as tough as it would be if they were hosting a major, but it can play tough. They played 2 different courses, the north and the south. I'll
be interested to see if anybody ends up taking DJ this week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
it's definitely gonna happen. I mean, we had guys ripping John Rahm week 2. It's like holy smokes, fellas.
A lot of people on Cantley as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna save DJ for a bigger event, I think. And I also like to see a few rounds to see where his game's at, where's his head's at. Yeah. I mean, who knows? For all we know, he's been absolutely going to town with Paulina for the last few weeks and hasn't touched a golf club.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the guy. When's the last time he played? It's been a while, man.
Was it the Ryder Cup?
Man, it might have been the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Because he was definitely not in the things when we stopped doing the best bets for golf for a bit.
Yeah,
he didn't play in any of those.
I don't think he played in the fall swing.
No, I don't think he did.
And they didn't play in the Tournament of Champions. He hasn't played yet.
So I'll be very interested to see if somebody takes him this week in the one and done.
I mean, certainly one of the top guys in the world. But Nate, we're gonna move on to the UFC. Francis Ngannou retains his heavyweight belt, but we were live last night on TikTok watching some of the prelim cards.
Holy smokes!
It never ceases to amaze me how much of a beating these guys can take. That guy Nate that we were watching in the undercard, he got knocked out 4 times.
I swear to God, he was out the whole time. The whole fight, he was out, man.
Yeah,
it was like one of those ones where it's like boom, and then he like snaps back. It's almost like greened out or something. You know, and he just comes back in. But who? What was that? It was Valerdo and Gravely.
Yes,
is that the fight it was? Yeah. So that was the first one on the prelim, and by God, did it set the tone for the entire scratch, man. If you were on the TikTok live.
Oh.
Which, folks, if you haven't, I recommend checking it out because we go absolutely hard in the paint.
It's a buzz fest in there.
But I mean, this dude was getting Gravely was just pumping him, dude.
I couldn't believe it. And man, this guy must have taken. I mean, the amount of that you drop watching the UFC. It's one of my favorite sports events to watch. I can't wait to go to one live.
I know.
I don't even care who's fighting. Like I don't care.
It doesn't matter because half the guys last night we had no idea.
No, and then all of a sudden they come out and it's just a bloodbath.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about, man. And then you get into round 2 and it was like I thought I heard the music coming. It's like dan. These guys are just wrapping each other up like snakes and not doing anything the whole time.
Yeah, it's either one end or the other. It's like it's kind of a boring fight. Like nobody's really making a move, or it's just a full on, just absolute haymaker fest. I mean, what would it, I mean? I don't get it out there. Like this guy, we're watching this guy, and he's in the 135 weight class. That guy was looking like 185 pounds.
Oh, dude, I know it's ridiculous. So that's like when you asked me on the last podcast, Nate, what's your guess on flyweight? I'm like, 120? Yeah. Like lower. What was it, 108?
108.
108!
Yeah, so they're coming into the fight like 140, 150, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but
because it's crazy.
I know. We're not going to talk about it because we literally did in the last podcast, but what the hell are they doing?
I know, it's crazy. All right, Nate, so it's time for our segment this week. So our segment this week is we're going to go through a couple NHL teams, a couple NBA teams that might be, at the top of the standings, kind of flirting around in a playoff spot. And we're going to say, are these guys legit contenders to win a championship? Are these guys as much a pretender as Aaron Rodgers?
Whoa!
So, Nate, I'm going to start things off.
Okay.
I'm going to give you our friend of the show, Andreas' team, the New York Rangers. Are they a pretender or contender?
I think they're a pretender. I do. They're having a great year. Shesterkin's been a stick. The boys are going, but it's
29 goals from Chris Kreider already.
29?
Hat trick last night.
No.
29 goals.
Dude, that's
Chris Kreider.
Yeah, he leads the league.
Yeah, must. He's almost at 30 goals at the halfway mark.
Yeah. I mean, you see this, though, from guys.
He'll slow down.
You'll see this all the time. Years just from following, like, Ovechkin's totals. I mean, there's been years where you've had Alexander Steen, and it's like, holy crap, like, Alexander Steen, and then, like, he has 24 as soon as January hits, and then it's, like, he ends up with 29 goals.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Kreider's probably going to hit 40.
Oh, for sure.
Which is wild.
Yeah. Power forward.
But, yeah, I'm going to say they're a pretender.
Yep.
It's just, I revert back to it, but we talked about it a few podcasts ago. It's just like with Lafreniere and Kakko, if these guys were kind of like those young guys, like I look back to teams who win the Cup, and it's like, I think immediately to Anaheim in 2007. So you would have had like all your big guns like Niedermeyer, Pronger, and the guys. And then you have these young guys, Getzlaf and Perry, who are coming in, and they're absolutely making a huge difference. And that's a lot of times what you need to win a cup.
Yep.
And I just don't think Kakko and Lafreniere are at that point yet.
For sure.
That's why I'm going to give them pretender.
Yeah, I think their forward depth for me is a little bit shaky, and I think they got a young goaltender. I mean, it's going to be crazy to think that they're going to go from Lundqvist for 15 years and then probably Shesterkin for 30 years of great goaltending.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay, Greg, I'll give you the first one. What do you think about the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to say they're a contender, man. I really am. I think that this is it. This is it for their core. If they don't win a playoff round, then something's going to get blown up. I think that they are a contender, though. I do like the way they play. I think that they are going to have to show in the playoffs, whether it's the first round or the second round, they're going to be down 2-0 in a series. They're going to be down 2-0 in a game, and they're going to have to fight back and show some emotion and show some brand of hockey that they don't oftentimes play.
Yep.
But I do think that they can contend. I mean, I think Jack Campbell's a phenomenal goaltender, really a big score for that team. Austin Matthews, one of the top players in the league. They've got some depth pieces that are playing well, man. This Ilya Mikheyev's been playing fantastic. I mean, Andre Kashey's looked really good. And
Pierre Engvall's known to stick one in at it's kind of a clutch time once in a while, man. It's the odd time you see like that final goal, and it's like, there's Engvall.
For sure. But I'm going to say they're a contender, and I'm going to keep all the Leafs fans happy. Nathan, Nashville Predators.
Nashville Predators. This is one of my teams that has been a pretender since that cup run in 2017.
Yep.
Ever since that cup run, they've been given so much love. This team is abysmal on forward depth.
Yes.
You've got Roman Josi, who's having an absolute unbelievable season that no one's really speaking about too much.
For sure.
The goaltending, UC Saros, I mean, you're okay with him. I don't think he's anything like world-class goaltender, but he's pretty solid.
Yep.
I just think pretender. I just don't think they're second in the Central. They're having a good run, but I just don't see it. I'm really
fighting right now, man. I got to go take a Woo! My sincerest apologies to all the listeners. Major called. I've been pounding protein and coffees, and that's just that was an emergency. But
that's just the way she goes.
Where were we, Nate?
I believe we were chatting about the Nashville Predators.
Okay, and they're pretenders.
They certainly are.
Okay.
If you put money on Nashville, you may as well take it and burn it.
Okay.
Urinate on it on the way out.
That's true.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so it's mine now
for
you. Okay, it's kind of threw me for a loop here, Greg. All right, give me, I'd say Vegas.
The Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, these guys are a contender. Once they get healthy, too. I love their forwards. Obviously great defenseman as well. And for me, it comes down to, can Robert Leonard get it done in the clutch? And, I think these guys can contend for sure. I mean, they're going to probably win the Pacific Division.
The way the Oilers have been trending anyway.
For sure.
It's tough when you lose 13 out of 16. It's like,
yep. But I definitely think they can contend for a cup and overall win a cup. It's going to be interesting to see how Jack Eichel. I will.
I'm excited.
Caution.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't it seem so wild now? Like, he's out there skating and stuff. Obviously, we haven't seen him play yet. That like Buffalo just was like not gonna let him get this surgery.
Yeah.
And like we don't know the long-term effects here, but like it just seems so wild now.
It's very odd, yeah.
Have you watched any Buffalo games in Buffalo lately too?
I haven't, no.
Man.
Empty?
Oh, dude, it's tough to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough to look at. The first one the most recent one I watched was Martin Luther King Day, so I was like, okay, and there was a snowstorm, so I was like, you know what? People couldn't get there, but then I watched one the other night, prime time.
Out, yeah.
It's just a dead zone.
And they've been playing okay. I mean, they're not like an absolute dumpster fire.
Rasmus Dahlin has been awesome. Lights, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right, Greg, we're going to start off with the NBA.
Yep.
Brooklyn Nets.
The Brooklyn Nets, these guys are a full-on contender, my man. With KD, I know he's dealing with a sprained knee right now, but once he's back, Harden and Kyrie, these guys are going to be top seed in the East, and they're going to be a handful come playoff time, and for sure a contender. Nate, what do you think about the Los Angeles Lakers?
Los Angeles Lakers. Well, when we talked about it earlier, like I want to say they're a contender. I believe at one point I picked them early in the at the start of the year. I said they might win it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think there's a shot, man. Like,
yeah, they might be a pretender.
It's just wild to me to look at where they are too. Like 7th in the West. Like even last year they struggled. Like I just feel like they're absolute perennial contenders now.
Yeah.
Or pretenders, sorry. They are not contenders.
Yeah. I might be in the same boat with that. They haven't shown me enough to be a contender, and there's certainly some better teams, across the league that you think could take on the Lakers in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see, but it's kind of a shame too because I like seeing the Lakers. They're just such a. I think back to so many like I think it was 2009, one of the best NBA finals. I remember the Celtics and the Lakers went 7. And it's just, it brings you back to those days, but it's just not going to happen. All right, Greg, Washington Wizards. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Golden State.
Golden State, full-on contender. Yeah, they are a full-on contender, and I mean, Clay hasn't got back to full minutes yet, but they, Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond, that core is still there. Andrew Wiggins has been unbelievably solid. This new fresh start in Golden State's been great for that guy. So yeah, they're definitely a contender.
Okay, and just a quick one here too before you go up. But what about Utah?
The Utah Jazz, they're a pretender in my mind. I mean, they've been a team that's been strong in the West. I just don't think that they can get it done and win big games. A big fan of Donovan Mitchell, obviously, and Rudy Gobert is a monster on the glass. But I think that team is a pretender in my mind.
Yeah.
Nate, what do you think about the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got Jared Allen. Best afro in the league.
I mean, that is
undoubtedly.
facts.
What's that guy dropping, like 40? What?
His fro, his hair is amazing.
Oh, it's some of the best. I mean, it's an absolute, like, that's one you cut and that goes on the wall in the barbershop. Like, this is what we can do for you.
100%.
I think they're a pretender. I mean, I just look at some of the teams in the East and it's like, okay, you got to get through, like, the Bulls, for instance, that you have picked for your winner. The Nets, exactly.
Yep.
It's
Bucks.
just... Yeah, exactly. Bucks.
Yeah. The Heat are also a great team.
Yeah, the Heat. Yeah. So. It's just, I mean, those are the 4 teams above them in the standings, and it's just like, you got yourself a tough spot if you landed 5th because you get one of those top 4 teams first, and then after that, even if you upset them, you're more than likely playing a 2 or a 3
for sure
because they're not going to lose to a 7 or a 6.
No, definitely.
So not only would it be tough for them, it would just be the road they would have to take to get out of the East would be absolutely ridiculous.
No, I agree. I think, the interesting thing with the Cleveland Cavaliers is this Evan Mobley guy who went 3rd overall this year has been incredible. They can play very big. They play with Jared Allen. They play with Lauri Markkanen and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So like 3 kind of 6'10" to 7'2" players on the floor, so play very big. But like you said, Nate, they're young. This Darian Garland guy is unbelievable, but they're certainly a contender or a pretender.
I don't know. I don't know why that's giving us so much trouble today.
I know.
Those damn words that rhyme, huh?
I know. So listen, we're just over a week from our merch drop, Nate.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, that is going to be so fire.
That's going to be sick.
Oh.
But do you see the boys just rocking that? It's all I'm going to be wearing.
I mean, I'm
burning the rest of my wardrobe.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's going to be like monthly orders of, like, we've got to have every single piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to do is there's some unfortunately there's some of the apparel and clothing that is only US based, but I'm going to run down some family in the US to order it all for me because I need the bucket hat.
Oh.
And I need there's some items that are US based, but we're going to find a way to make sure the boys have those.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Other than that, I believe just about everything ships internationally as well too.
Yes.
So I know we had some people asking Australia last night.
Yes.
I mean, we'll get it done for you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, you message us. Actually, need some other fairly exciting news as well. We had a TaylorMade rep reach out to us.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the boys might be getting some
TaylorMade stealth drivers.
Is that
as
any
well
good?
As some hats.
Yeah.
And we said,
let's see your credentials. He sends us his badge. He said, this is the type of stuff that I do. And I said,
it's like, if this is the stuff that you do, then we are the kind of guys that are like to be on the under end of stuff that you do.
On the receiving end, for sure.
But, and we said, you know what, we'll run a video with them. I mean, we got an entire golf segment. I mean, these things are going to be getting plugged. So
For sure. But that will wrap it up, Nate. We'll be back next Friday. Obviously, we appreciate you guys tuning in as always. And thank you for that brief intermission. But yeah, Nate, we'll catch these guys through the week. Obviously, follow us on all of our socials.
Yep. Check us out Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Let's absolutely eat.
Take her easy, folks. How are ya?